Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nairobi Real Estate Insights. This is the show where we delve into the world of real estate. I'm Carol Koech, your host and a real estate agent with a passion for helping people find their dream homes. And today we are joined by this special team, Obsidian Urban Design, and they are the mastermind behind the beautiful houses, the beautiful show houses we have been touring, even this one we're shooting from today. And ladies, I'm so delighted to have you here. We have Shiba, Shimnis, and Leah. Karibuni sana. So we are going to dive into the world of interior design. To start things off, of all the careers, I'm so curious to know what inspired you to become an interior designer.
Okay, so interior design was at some point a hobby of mine, and I just ended up landing in a place where we were doing things like furniture and a little bit of interior design, but that kind of pushed us over that edge, and we realized that there's a gap in the market, especially for residential interior design. And we found a passion for it and decided to just follow that passion, and that's why we are where we are.
I feel like I always had an eye for putting things together, and I feel like I really enjoy, working with different materials like board, working with like green materials, plants, fabrics, those kinds of things. And then obviously I stumbled upon my two colleagues, and they helped me, sharpen my skills, take up some courses, and get into this career of interior design. And I really enjoy it. I love what I do. I love the results, the final results, and showing clients a space once it's complete. And it's usually a journey to get there, but it's fun at the end of the day.
I made friends with the right people, I think, and they inspired me to want to do interior design. Of course, there has to be the love for design, which is the foundation. Then there was a lot of learning, a lot of course taking, and a lot of hand holding, which they did perfectly, and I'm grateful to them for that. And it's been a process of learning and still learning, but I have fallen greatly in love with interior design than even I was before. But yeah, there has to be the love for design, and then you learn from there.
We've been touring these homes. They're really beautiful. You have done an amazing job. And what can you say sets you apart? What sets your team apart in this interior design world?
I think there's a lot to say about the team and the cohesion and the passion that the team has. We are very close as colleagues, and we're very close as friends. We see eye to eye on many things, and the passion for interior design just was that one thing to make it more cohesive, and that whole passion and that whole togetherness that we have shows in what we do in interior design, because the love for it actually displays in a space like this. So I think that it's unique because we are here because we want to be, we are here because we love it, and we're here because it is something that is actually needed in Nairobi.
I think I was more into business, but then yes, when I met my colleagues, and when I started actually putting together designs and picking out colors and working with those kinds of details, I realized that this is where I wanted to be, and I'm happy to keep going and keep learning and working with the trends that are around the world.
So for sure you cannot see yourself doing anything else?
Definitely not. Okay. I don't want to be doing anything else but interior design. yes, I do have my own personal, design or style that I like working with. But then we like to listen to our clients. What do they want to see in the space? What is the space going to be used for? We pick out those kinds of details, and then what I like to personally do is make a neutral palette for them. And then if they have any, for example, collectibles or colors that they want to work with, I then tell them to put that in their accessories or the pieces that can be moved around and even changed after some time, because styles change. People evolve, trends change, and so just being able to change those things as you go along allows you to do that with a very neutral balance.
I am always inspired by nature. If you have a look around, you'll notice that there are earth tones everywhere. There's a bit of greens and the browns and the oaks. I'm inspired greatly by nature. But there's always a personal touch to every design, which for me is coziness. And you can see that it's a space that is very it's a cohesive space. It's very nicely knit together to bring out the coziness in the space. That for me is very important, because there's so much going on outside. When you get into a space, you need to feel like it's a very safe space for you. And of course, nowadays with the urbanization of Nairobi, the spaces are small, the spaces are enclosed, so there's the need to bring the outside inside, so you feel, because the outdoors for me bring calmness. So if you're able to bring that or to integrate that into the inside, then you rest easy when you come home after a busy day.
At what stage should someone onboard you? Is it when they're building, when they are doing the concept, or when the project is ongoing? What is the best time for someone to onboard your services?
It really does depend. So if it's a show house like this one, we would suggest that they onboard us right at the beginning when they're just starting to build, so that we can not only guide on the aesthetics of the space, but if there's any issues with like functionality and with safety and with movement of people within a space, then we can guide them on any changes that need to be made beforehand. And then the last part that comes in is how it looks, how we put things on the wall and how we put furniture in the space. It's really the last thing that we advise on. But there are many things that we can advise on ahead of time. And if it's a building that's being built, so we would hope that people would come to us early enough that if we catch those things, we can give the advice and have them fix it before it's actually put on the ground.
I would personally say that onboarding interior designers from the beginning, when you start thinking about the project, is usually nice. But also just before you start putting your finishes in place would be a good time to bring in the designer, because then we can look at the details and the kinds of colors or finishes you're putting in the space, and use that to help us know what else we need to bring into the space and what kind of colors we need to work with, and use that as creating now the designs, putting together the designs that helps us work with the space.
what advice do you have for anyone who is looking to buy for investments, maybe for Airbnb or furnished apartments? How would you advise them?
So in Nairobi especially, we have so many types of people who are coming in who want an Airbnb and who want a space, for a certain amount of time. And the first thing that they see when they're looking for a space is a photograph or two. A lot of people will scroll through the photos that they see, and that's what makes their decision. And so what we try and do is, I would advise, get an interior designer, get them to design your space, because we take into account so many different things and so many different aspects of what people see in a show house, and we apply that to the space. And we do have data that shows that renting a space will bring you more money, you'll have more occupancy when it's been designed properly. So I would suggest that if your clients are willing, it's a little bit heavy, financially at the beginning, but it pays off so well over time.
It all depends on the kind of returns that you're looking for, but it's always a good way to go the Airbnb way. All I would say is take it professionally. Look for a professional designer to design your space, because that way the returns are better. When I travel, I look for a space that is enticing or enchanting to look at. That's what attracts you in the first place. So if I don't get that attraction for a nicely done space, then I might not book that space. So the key thing is to make sure that the space is appealing to the eye, and that has to come from a professional. So that way you'll get better return.
Maybe it's the way you play your game, but it's so good. I've never known anybody like you, but it's so good. I've never dreamed of nobody like you. And I've heard of a love that comes once in a lifetime, and I'm pretty sure that you are that love of mine.
And there's this belief that getting the services you offer is only for the rich or very expensive. What do you have to say about this?
I don't think that that's true. I do think that our services are quite affordable if you look at it from, like a holistic approach. It is going to be, a financial investment. I'm not going to say that you can spend $100,000 or $200,000 and get a beautiful space. There's going to be some investment that you put up, and it's going to have like some, dip in your finances. But at the end of the day, the returns take care of it so much. I mean, we've had client after client who come back to us and they say, I'm so glad we did this with you, because I haven't had my space empty, since we've done the design. And I think that says a lot about what interior design does for your space, even though it may cost you a little bit to begin with.
So it may cost a little bit at the beginning, but for sure there are returns.
Yes.
And we've seen that even when we are listing the properties or apartments for rent, we've seen that. You definitely get more returns if you on board an interior design to create your spaces and make the space beautiful. So we've talked about someone looking to buy for investment. How about someone who's buying a home, or this is now they're building a home?
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them?
I think, again, we do really, really take time to listen to our clients and to understand what it is that they want from their space. And obviously, if they're buying a place and they've invested in it, it's something that they're looking forward to spending a lot of time in. And when you have put so much time and effort and money into buying a space, we tend to take whatever it is you have in your mind that's your dream and try and put it into practice. And that's why I feel like it's really good to have an interior designer who can actually sit down and listen to you and come up with some ideas that work for the client and their budget, and make it their dream home that they've been looking forward to.
So usually what happens is we like to meet with our clients, have a sit-down discussion, take notes on what they want to see, what kind of colors they like, how many people are going to use the space, those kinds of details. And then what we do is we take the floor plans and we have a program that we put the floor plans on and do layouts. So, you know, how does the furniture sit well? What kind of flow do you have from each room to the other? And then we do mood boards. We start picking out a color palette. What colors do we want to see? What kind of accessories do we want to add on? What kind of colors do that take? So we do a mood board and put all those materials together and show that to the client. And then usually they're all on board with what we've done. And then the actual work starts. We start sourcing the items, doing a quotation for those items, and then we start ordering those items. So we order, do the purchases, you know, get them brought over to our storage area, and then arrange for installation at site. So usually installation takes about maybe a week, depending on the scope or the size of the building. And we come in and we start working on like paintworks, putting together the soft finishes, the furniture, just making sure all the details are put together well. And then we finish up with touch-ups and we reveal the space to the clients.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back, I want you back. My neighbors think I'm crazy, but they don't understand. You're all I had, you're all I had. At night when the stars,
I feel like the world is our oyster, and we're looking forward to so many opportunities, so many challenges, and trying to keep up with the trends, and obviously putting ourselves forward and making it work to you know, make beautiful spaces for people that they can enjoy, and that's our goal.
So lastly, what advice do you have for anyone or our audience who are looking at you and they are aspiring to become interior designers?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that it's not an easy jump into career. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to have a passion for it, and you have to have people around you who see the same vision as yourself. And once you have that and you can get the training behind it, it can be a very rewarding career.
Thank you so much, Shiba, for sharing your insights and experience. Now we have a clear understanding of what it makes or what it takes to create these beautiful spaces. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing with us.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
And for our audience, thank you so much for joining us on Nairobi Real Estate Insights. And remember to follow Obsidian Urban Design for inspirations on how to create your spaces beautiful, and also you can contact them for their services.